darkness. Kai's hands shook as he watched the crowd of alphas around him. It was the annual mating ceremony in his pack, a ritual he had dreaded ever since he first understood what it meant to be an Omega. His heart thudded painfully in his chest as the alpha of his age group stepped forward, eyes scanning the line of Omegas. One by one, alphas chose their mates. One by one, Kai was ignored. The humiliation was crushing. Whispers followed him wherever he went afterward. Rejected again. Even other Omegas are stronger than him. Kai, usually soft-spoken and careful, felt an anger swell inside him he didn't know he had. But more than anger, there was fear. The pack would move on without him, and he would remain unclaimed, alone. Weeks passed. Kai tried to bury himself in training, in chores, in anything to keep the sting of rejection away, but it followed him like a shadow. Then, one evening, under a sky smeared with blood-red clouds, his world changed.
A carriage arrived at the outskirts of the village, black as midnight, wheels glinting like obsidian. The driver, a tall figure draped in a crimson cloak, opened the door and beckoned Kai inside. "Come with me," the stranger said, his voice smooth as velvet and cold as ice. There was no hesitation. Kai's parents had no choice. In their desperation, they sold him to this mysterious figure. Kai was terrified. Where was he going? Who was this man? The ride was long, through forests so dense the sunlight barely touched the road. Finally, they arrived at a mansion that seemed to rise from the shadows themselves. Its walls were black stone, and crimson torches flickered along the halls. "You're mine now," the stranger said, his sharp eyes scanning Kai with an intensity that made his chest tighten. "And I don't intend to lose you." Kai's knees went weak. I don't... "You will," the man interrupted gently, but with an edge that demanded obedience. "I don't force my mates, but I always win." The man revealed himself to be a vampire, centuries old, with power that Kai could feel vibrating in the air. His name was Lucian. He was frighteningly beautiful. Sharp features, pale skin that seemed almost translucent, and eyes the color of molten gold. Kai couldn't breathe in his presence. And yet, despite the fear, there was an inexplicable pull toward him, something magnetic, primal.
Days turned into weeks. Lucien didn't rush him, but his attention was constant. He fed Kai, trained him, and taught him to harness a latent power Kai didn't know he had. Lucien was patient but unyielding, demanding Kai learn, grow, and survive. Slowly, Kai realized he was not just being trained, he was being bonded. The bond between them began subtly. Kai felt Lucien's presence even when apart, a warmth, a heartbeat against his own. One night, Lucien approached him, standing in the center of the candlelit room. "Kai," he said softly, voice low and intimate. "Do you feel it?" Kai swallowed. I think so." "That pull. That's the bond of mates," Lucien said, moving closer. His hand brushed Kai's jaw. "I am yours. You are mine. You've always belonged to me, even before you knew it." Kai's breath hitched. "But I'm just an Omega. I was rejected. I'm not enough." Lucien's expression softened, but his eyes burned with a ferocity that made Kai shiver. "You are enough. You are mine, Kai. And together we are stronger than anything that stands against us." When Lucien claimed him fully, it was unlike anything Kai had ever felt. His world exploded in sensations, heat, pleasure, and an undeniable connection that linked their hearts and minds. He finally understood what it meant to be wanted, needed, and loved. Lucien didn't just claim him, he made him whole. Their bond grew stronger with every shared moment. Lucien taught Kai to fight,
to protect and to harness his Omega instincts not as weakness, but as a source of power. Kai's confidence flourished under Lucien's guidance. The fear of rejection faded, replaced by pride in the bond that now tied them together. But happiness rarely lasts untested. It began with rumors, humans and supernatural alike whispering about Lucien's growing power and the bond he had formed with the young Omega. Enemies of the vampire sought to exploit Kai, knowing that hurting him would wound Lucien. One night, as they rested in the mansion's highest tower, the sky turned red with the approach of danger. A group of rogue alphas, vampires, and mercenaries attacked. Their leader, a brutish alpha named Rohan, had once mocked Kai at his own pack. He had not forgotten Kai's rejection and saw him as nothing more than a tool to hurt Lucien. Lucien held Kai close, their bond flaring between them like wildfire. "Stay behind me," he commanded, fangs glinting.
"I'm not hiding," Kai snapped, determination replacing fear. "I'm your mate. I fight with you." Lucien's lips curved into a dangerous smile. "Good, then we fight together." The battle was fierce. Kai, once timid and rejected, moved with a speed and precision he didn't know he possessed. The bond with Lucien amplified his strength and senses, allowing him to anticipate attacks, dodge strikes, and even counter with deadly force. Lucien moved with the grace and lethal efficiency of a vampire who had survived centuries, their attacks perfectly synchronized. Kai saw Rohan charging toward Lucien, fangs bared. Without thinking, he stepped in front of him, letting the bond flare. A golden light burst from them both, throwing Rohan back and stunning the others. Lucien pressed close to Kai, whispering against his ear, "I am yours, Kai. I will not let anyone touch you, not now, not ever." Kai felt warmth spread through him, courage and love intertwining. They fought as one, Lucien's centuries of experience guiding Kai's raw power. Every strike, every dodge, every shared breath strengthened their bond further. Pain turned into power, fear into rage. By dawn, the attackers lay defeated. Rohan was gone, fleeing with the remnants of his followers. Kai collapsed into Lucien's arms, trembling, not from fear, but from the adrenaline and the depth of connection he now understood.
Lucien held him close, brushing hair from his face. "You see," he murmured, "we are unstoppable together. Our bond is unbreakable." Kai rested his head against Lucien's chest, listening to the steady beat of his mate's heart. I love you," he whispered. "I've never felt like this before." "And I love you, Kai," Lucien replied, his hand gliding over the curve of Kai's spine. "I always have. You are mine in every way, and I am yours." From that day forward, Kai was no longer the rejected Omega of his pack. He was Lucien's mate, his equal in strength, his partner in love and battle. Together, they ruled their domain, their bond a legend whispered among humans and supernatural alike. The world outside could try to tear them apart, but Kai and Lucien had learned something few could ever understand.